Hello. This printer decided to take right until I needed to go live to start printing. So if you're wondering why there's a loud thing in the background, it's because the printer is going off. Hello. Welcome to the live stream. We are trying a thing that I think might not work today, so we're going to find out how it works. A lot of people can you hear me over the loudness of this little printer? How is everyone doing? Let's just chat for a second. I'm going to have to cast this from... Oh, no devices found. Cool. Oh, right, but I'm running OBS. Can you see this chat that I just put on the screen? Let's find out. I am running OBS. Let's see if I need to reconnect. How are people doing? Can hear clearly, no noise whatsoever. Well, I was distracted by the noise. It's done now, though. Printed picture of the donut. Wow, this dress. Well, this is my princess dress that I got at the end of my 6-month clothing no buy when it was on sale for my birthday, which is on Sunday. However, it wasn't until I put it on for this that I realized that even though it's an extra small, it really seems to be flopping down my shoulders. So, gonna have to figure out a solution for that. That's just a general state of how disheveled I am, how disheveled I am right now. The cats are eating over there, so there's the kittens. I'm just going to use the kittens as a distraction. Happy early birthday. Thanks. I've just been in a truly bad mood today, and it isn't one of those bad moods where you're like, there's a reason for it. It's possible that it's actually just I drank too much caffeine and I've been that weird kind of anxious all day. And I'm not the kind of anxious where you like have racing thoughts. I'm like that like physically anxious kind of, like where you're like, you just feel like someone's like wound you up inside. Anyway, all day I've been like, you have a 5-day weekend. So I get Monday through Friday off this week because I took for personal days tomorrow and Friday. I am working this weekend. I'm on air this weekend. My birthday is Sunday, but I have a 5-day weekend. I was very excited about all of the other work that I was going to get done on my 5-day weekend, which might be like the first part of the problem. It's that I have too many projects going on right now. And so being off from my day job just means I have tons of other work that need to happen. Also, you may or may not be able to hear it, but there is continuous sawing happening in the background, which, we generally support because it means that progress is being made on the house. However, isn't my favorite thing for a live stream. So most years I do a little birthday zine, and the birthday zine contains all sorts of data. And I've been collecting like quite a lot of data about myself for like 16 years now. How many tacos I eat, which people I see, my mood, how many drinks of caffeine I have. And I try to turn it into cool data art. And a lot of people see these in the form of my monthly reports that I publish. And honestly, I think I need to close that window because I am so distracted by the sawing. So hold on. We're going to cook in here. We are going to cook in this. We're going to cook in this house. So, the window is open on the top too. We have in this place is the first place I've lived that has the windows that can open from the top and the bottom. But I'm too short to close or open any of the top or the bottom, which means I get fairly annoyed when Aaron opens the top because I can't close it back. Anyway, the sawing is going to stop immediately after we close all the windows. That's how it's going to work. Anyway, oh, y'all, it was definitely audible. Okay, well, someone could hear it. Some people can hear the printer. I don't know what's up. I only showed you a picture of the donut. We actually have 2 donuts today, but one of them is a donut tax for Aaron. This is the donut, and this is what it looks like. It is a stout and pretzel donut. So it's got pretzels and then like cacao nibs, I think. And this is actually like a stout ganache on the top. And also, please look at its cute little house, which protects it. There's not a cute house for this one, and I feel like it looks very sad. But this is a savory chopped cheese donut, which I had to look up what chopped cheese is, but it's a it is like a New York City style sandwich, and it's usually got like ground beef in it. This is a vegan version. I'm assuming it has like seitan in it or something like that. Let's see if we can find out what it has in it. It has chopped vegan hamburger, it doesn't say what kind, onion and house-made sauce, and then a cherry tomato garnish. And yeah, it's an oatmeal chocolate stout glaze on the other one. So those are coming forward. Here's the thing. My ambition about being able to show you doing my data for my live stream, I think is not going to work because I don't think I can screen share what I use and also see the chat. So this probably won't work. And I'm also not entirely convinced that my computer can support screen sharing InDesign. Like, for example, I'm getting a rainbow spinny of death just trying to do it right now. I can't log into the chat, though. So we'll see how this goes. Anyway, maybe we'll just be cranky. Having to stand on a chair to close a top window is one of my greatest annoyances in life. Okay, so I don't know how many other places have the German style windows, but German windows are by the way, I can hear the sawing through the one open window now. I may be at like the just tail end. Oh, it's the Instant Pot. Everything is noisy, is what we're learning. Everything is noisy today. Okay, so in Germany, they have these windows that open like this way, but then they also open at the top like a little bit. I think they also have them in the UK. But it is very scary because when you first do it, you think you've broken someone's window or that like a giant sheet of glass is going to fall on you because they like can tip inwards. But what I like about them is you don't have to be tall to have just the top of the window open because of the way they work. But they're very much a feat of German engineering. I don't know if they're actually originally German, but like everyone has them in Germany versus I haven't seen them in that many other countries. They are not common here at all. Oh, I did see, this is also window related. We're doing a great job of staying on topic already. We are 9 minutes into the live stream, and we have not at all talked about the topic, and we are now talking about windows, but that's just how it's going to go today. I'm telling you, I'm on a struggle bus mood-wise today, so we're just happy we're here, okay? We may just eat a donut and then leave. Also, my dress won't stay on my shoulders. Y'all, I was trying to decide if we should have nachos. We had nachos like a couple nights ago, but it's my birthday week, so I can have nachos every night if I want to. And I feel like nachos is the only thing that's going to solve things for me at this point, so we should probably have nachos. What was I going to say about Windows? Oh, I saw this like TikTok. I think it was a TikTok that was like, this is how you clean the inside of your window. And there were these latches that are on the top of the window and they tilt the window in so you can clean them. Okay, Aaron solved one of the tech problems. Aaron solved one of the tech problems, so let's see if this works. If I hit donut, will this pop up? Okay, so we have one tech problem solved. Let's see if we can solve the other one now. So I was like, no way. No window I've ever had does that. And then I went around and I discovered quite a few of our windows do that. They have these little tabs on the top and you push them in And then you could tip them in and you can clean the outside of the window from the inside. ADHD Queen says, love your dress. Thanks. I didn't realize that it was going to fall off my shoulders until the live stream started. This is an extra small too. So I don't know what's up with that. But thank you. Yes, I'm going for full sparkle princess today. And when I was trying to make myself in a better mood, I went to a little local cute sparkly handmade things shop, and I got these sparkly bow earrings to go with this dress. So a long story short, I couldn't find the thank you for the super chat. Says, did you look up the men's height/income study? I found it, and it was an incredibly small sample size, and it was also not a peer-reviewed study. So I didn't feel like it was exactly what was advertised to me. So no, but that isn't really what we focus on in this live stream. So we are not going to discuss the sociological side effects of that, but I will say didn't impress me as an economist. That's not what I study, but it didn't impress me as an economist. Can we flounce instead of just leaving? I feel like flouncing is very today. I know I do. I am very flouncy today. Thank you for the super chat. Birthday nachos. Yeah, I mean, my birthday is until Sunday, so we can just continue to have nachos all week, maybe. I got s'mores earrings for camp, which went well. Oh, nice. They have tons of food earrings at this store. I would describe it as like a local adult Claire's. It has just sparkly, silly, mostly handmade items. And it had like ramen earrings. It had sparkly saltine earrings. No peer review and small sample size. Yes. It's hard to build one of those data sets. Oh, John said allergies have been killing me the last couple days with a weird anxiety that loratadine solved, as it usually does. Interesting. What is that a allergy medicine? I didn't even, so allergies have been like very bad here, and I actually don't get allergies in Portland, knock on wood. But the pollen counts have been incredible to the point where like you can see fluff floating in the air on my way into work. I commute like along the waterway, and there's just been like cotton balls level of pollen settling everywhere. They were blowing around in the parking garage of my office. And so a lot of people's allergies have been really bad. My allergies haven't been really bad, but I have been noticing a couple things. One, I want to take my contacts out earlier in the day, and that probably means that I've got like some level of irritation on my eyes. But I hadn't even thought about like the weird existential dread. I feel like the existential dread could be, I haven't been processing what's going on with US politics really at all, but I'm constantly exposed to it at work. And so I wonder if it's like living deep in my bones, a concern about US politics and the way things are going. Oh, it's Clarendon. What is the store called? It's called Alchemy. It's in North Portland. I forgot that you're in Portland based, but yeah, it's called Alchemy. I also have a dress in that style for prom's graduation, and the shoulders just completely fall off of me, which I guess is the style. It did make me feel insane though. So I have another dress with like similar style sleeves, but it has elastic here, but this one doesn't have elastic. And I feel like that's the key issue here, is that you need to have some kind of elastic, or at the very least a bra strap keeper. But I put this on literally 2 minutes before the live stream. I'm telling you, today was not going well. So what we are going to do is we're going to attempt to scrub through my data here. If I can screen share. Let's see what I can do. Oh, I need to enter an AirPlay code, which I can't see. So that's not going to work. I don't know. It's not on the screen. I told you this might not work. My frontal lobe feels like someone sewed a brick up there when allergies get bad and I can't make decisions. Oh, like brain fog bit? Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Which one did you go to?
I'm looking for the Supreme Court to grant me broad immunity from allergies, but I'm not hopeful. That would be nice, wouldn't it? What?
Which airplay did you try?
I tried this AirPlay, Office. It's the AirPlay code is just not displaying on the Stream Deck. So now it is. There we go. Okay, let's see what we can do here. I am gonna see if now, let's see, now it's not displaying my document on InDesign. Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. All right. Oh, I love that. All right. Oh, and it just deleted all my work. So that's great. Let's see if this works. Here we go. So this is the beginning of the annual report that I'm working on. So I've been tracking lots of data about myself for 16 years now. And since I've had a smartphone, which is like about 10 years now, it's gotten like more sophisticated in terms of the collection. It used to be, I didn't even have like a laptop when I first started it. And I was just every day at work on my desktop entering into a spreadsheet all of the data that I track. But now I can track like a lot more data. So this is the beginning of the birthday zine. We're keeping it very simple this year. And this is kind of what it's gonna look like. But this is all sourced from a so what we've got to do is we've got to figure out what we're doing with my expenses. We need to attack this. I have not figured everything out yet as far as like what I want to track. And Eric says it works. What I want to like represent as far as tracking. So one of the things that I have is of all of the stuff that I track, it all backs up into Google Sheets. So one of the pieces of data that's new that I started collecting in 2023 that I have now an entire year for my birthday, leading up to my birthday, is my bike number. So there's a counter on the bridge that I cross on the way to work, and it has, and I cross it occasionally other times, and it tells me what number bike I am for crossing that day. And so I was thinking we would turn this into a little graph and we would like actually graph this out. Here's where the issue is. I don't have Excel anymore. I have Excel on my work PC, but I'm not paying for it and on my Mac. And I mostly know how to make good graphs on my Mac or on Excel. So what we're going to do is we're just going to try to brute force this. So we'll start with my birthday last year. And then what we're going to have to do is take all of this data and we're going to have to put it into Text Wrangler. And the reason we have to put it into Text Wrangler is days without entries are represented in this spreadsheet right now. Actually, you know what? I can export one where I don't have zeros in days without entries. I just realized this. And then we don't have to clean that. No, do not create cells for days with no entries. So then the days that I don't commute to work, like the reason there were so many zeros, I was in Japan. So, yeah, there we go. Look at that. That's great. Okay. So now we don't have to text wrangler these. Text wrangler is just like a manipulation. You can use SQL as well, but text wrangler is kind of like a more, it's like an easier interface for doing it instead of using SQL. So let's turn this into this. Oh, I think we have 2 more licenses free in our Microsoft license. Hit me up. Someone said I might be able to actually use my work enterprise license. Oh, that's great. Let's see how bad I can put this in Stata if we think it'll look better that way. But let's see how bad this little graph would look if we did this as a time series in Google Sheets. Oh my God, I forgot even where the insert chart. Let's see how bad their charts are. Because sometimes you can brute force them into looking pretty. I think information, we're definitely going to want a line chart. I kind of want the data to be like a little more obvious. It is fun to think how much we have to subscribe to software now. I know. ADHD Queen, this is not in any way all of the data. Do you want to see some of the wild data? So one of the other pieces of data I have is everyone that I see. So hold on, this is an app that I've been using for quite a few years, called Reporter. And this has all sorts of data. So it has everything I wear, and then what the best thing of the day, and everyone I've seen. So here, and I've been using it for over 10 years, actually. So this is everyone I've seen. Sometimes that doesn't have the names of the people. Sometimes it's like all of the people in my apartment building, people at the restaurant. And then I have all of the, okay, so tokens. So I can search and tell you what days I've worn any of my foods or any of my clothes, foods. Clearly I'm hungry. So let's see. What would be pink poofy dress? Pink floofy dress. I've worn twice. Now let's see how many times I've worn my hot pink suit. Yeah, I also have multiple hot pink blazers. And then it also tells you everywhere I've slept. And, so you can see I slept at work. But like all of the hotels that I've slept at in the past 10 years, or like, in the air over the Arctic, in the air over the Pacific. It tells you what the ambient audio is. Deafening would probably be when I'm on planes, sometimes trains when I'm going to bed. So yeah. Dating back to April 2024. I remember you showed this to us some months ago. It's wild. So it was all done by Nicholas Feltron, who is really quite an inspiration for me as far as his information design. We have pretty different styles, but he also does annual reports. I don't know how to disconnect this now. Why won't this disconnect? It's being weird. So, okay. Anyway, let's see what we can do. See, this is what I don't like. I like to use my own fonts. And I just don't think this is going to work. We need to acquire Excel. Let's see if I can acquire Excel and actually log in using my single sign-on. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to take the screen away while I try to figure this out. Aaron says I haven't entered anything in Reporter since 2015. One of the reasons Aaron and I first talked to each other when we first met is because I recognized that Reporter app was on Aaron's screen. And I was like, in what niche possible way are you also using the same randomized data app? I have no idea what Reporter costs. I feel like it's free. Maybe it costs money now, but if I did pay for it, I paid for it one time. I don't subscribe to it. It's all self set up though. So like and then to get data out, you have to like pull data out as like raw data, and then you can input it into processing, which is the language that processing is like the computer program. Okay, I'm going to try, already have a subscription, sign in, and I'm going to try this. I'm going to try to sign in with my work account and we'll see if it works. I am not paying them. Wait, what? That was that easy? Oh my God, that's amazing. I have Excel now. I didn't even have to authorize. Okay, so you can see now, I can share this again and you can see, so this is Excel. And people are always like, how do you get Excel to make how do you make those graphs in Excel? And the answer is I just brute force it. Excel is not meant to be design software. This is a chart. This is where I put the raw data. So you can see like, I'll pull this in. All this data comes from YNAB. And then I have these other little ones where it like, this is adding it up and dividing it by there. None of this is particularly challenging data stuff. But let's do a, let's try to adjust something. So let's say I have a new category that I spent money on. Or let's say I spent like $900 on the kittens and that suddenly became bigger. Well, then I would take this. This is where it's like really not meant to be design software. I'd drag this over here. Conditional formatting does not really work terribly well with like Excel graphs for the way that I am doing it. It is possible to do it, but then the consistency, because what I would use conditional formatting for is for like varying the sizes of this. And then I go into here and I like adjust the size there. And then let's say I want to go back down to the correct data. So now this is like not in the right place. Then you have to try to not to upset it. Put it out there, and then I spend a lot of time trying to get the leader lines to be in the right place. And then this is where it's really hilarious. what I do when I want to turn these into my monthly reports. I gotta fix this coffee one. Why is it there? I don't like that. Let's put coffee in a different spot. So this is like a great example of how silly a lot of this is. Let's put coffee here. Where'd it go? Also, that's too big now. Do you guys see coffee? This is a great example of how the whole world... Oh, it went into the center. Now I see. That's better than having it down there. And so, like, if I want to add some sort of data, like utilities, I want to make sure it has percentage on there. I have to go into the data labels chart, reset label text, you know, to have that, to have it declare or not declare the percentage, because I've learned it doesn't make sense when it's like 2% or less. It just takes up too much room. And then these are just text boxes where I like manually input it from up there. So we have 1, 2, 5, 9. So we can do this for the whole year. 41%. Then 2, 8, 1, 7. And there we go. 1, 8, 2, 8. What is missing? I feel like the coffee is missing in one of these categories. This wasn't the cleanest way to do it. Brute force Excel is the best Excel. Yeah, that's how I position the pie wedges, is just by moving them around in the columns, which I mainly do just for clarity of being able to like find the right one. What really sucks is to get these individual little pie ones. Sometimes I accidentally click and then I turn them all the same color. I have to go through anytime I change color and like change the individual pies, and I have to do that for every single one. I'm really excited, by the way, everybody. I don't have the patience because I still need to update this number, but I'll show you where this goes. So I just screenshotted that. Usually I'd screenshot it on like a bigger thing. Then what we do is we open Photoshop. Is this the best tool for the job? Absolutely not. Do I wish that I wasn't paying Adobe $53 a month or whatever till the cows come home? Absolutely. But, you know, I continue to need Photoshop. I continue to need many parts of the Adobe design suite. So I do mind software subscriptions. I mind that I can't just pay for what Adobe software I want. Instead, I have to pay them $60 a month until I die for everything. Okay, so here is my template that I use. By the way, for years, I didn't really have a very well set up template and things were not properly labeled in it. But a couple years ago, I was like, I will properly set up my template. So, file, save a copy, June 2024, PSD, okay. Then we have to make sure we go open June 2024 PSD so I don't overwrite it, which also happens fairly often. Now, this is where you're really going to see the lack of magic that happens. It's kind of hilarious. Okay, so I just take the screenshot that I just made of the Excel thing. I'm telling you, there's no wizardry here. Sometimes there's wizardry when I like use Stata to make like actual regressions of my data, but most of the time my stuff is just very boring. Okay. Now we are going to get rid of the May 2024. I have a standard font that I use. That's kind of like the brand font for these. It's very whimsical, but I like the whimsy. Okay. Then I'm going to have to rasterize it. This is also one of the things where someone who like uses Excel all the time or uses Photoshop all the time is going to be like, oh my God, why are you doing things this way? But I just want to tell you that we used to have a limit on how many times we could undo. And a lot of my habits in Photoshop are from that long ago. Also, we had a limit of how many layers we could have. I mean, there's really a lot. Okay. So, now I'm going to pull the data for the other ones. So, number of hours of sleep comes from my reporter. I actually track my sleep in 3 different places now, but the main one I use is actually just a timer that I start and stop when I go to sleep. So I was asleep for 231.5 hours in this month. So last month, should we round up? Yeah, let's round up. There we go. 232. Then the average, I used to have to doing averages on time is kind of complicated from a data perspective. And I used to have to pull out R to do these every time. But now I actually use the Sleep Journal app, which gives you a, even in the free version, it gives you a last 30 days when you went to bed and when you got up. Okay, so my average was 920. Averages are just hard for time because it's not like a super straightforward calculation. You've got to convert the minutes, blah, 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 to a flat time, and it's just slightly more complicated. Okay, now, what was my average? 505. There we go. Sleep is done. Now, biked. My miles biked for, and we will change the color of that icon too. So miles biked is 402.49. I guess we will not round up because it's 0.49. There we go. And oops, this went in the wrong. This is supposed to be there. And yeah, we're gonna color this guy that. Do I love all the icons and think they're the best possible icons and this is the most beautifully designed thing? No, but sometimes you just go for the consistency. Okay. Tacos eaten. I had 56 tacos in June. I kind of want to leave the taco looking like a little actual taco. We'll come back and decide if we're going to do a different color there. Okay, hours of yoga. This is going to be high because I'm doing this 100-day challenge. So it's 33 and 24. So we'll say 33 instead of rounding up. Then this is why I have whole groups, because I need to nudge this guy over to make it look a little better. And the yoga mat, we are not going to go with that color. And actually, we are just going to make it pink instead of yellow. Doop. Okay. Now, percentage of gross saved. So this actually comes from a different Google sheet. And I don't have the Oh My Dollar gross in there. So hold on. Give me a hot second. Did do $750 cash savings. Employer did the same amount. And what was my interest savings? We will look at the chat while I pull this up. And I'm going to take it off the screen. Let's look at the chat. Okay. There is a store called Sparrow Park near the Portland Leather Store. I bought an overpriced dress for my birthday and I don't regret it. The Portland Leather Store downtown or the outlet? I've only been to the outlet in Brooklyn. I actually hadn't updated this yet for June, so. Must have woken up extra hangry. 56 isn't usually a multiple of 3. It is, but I think probably one day we had 2 because we didn't have enough tortillas. Or I had some tacos for dinner instead of breakfast. But yes, you are correct. It is usually a multiple of 3. Sometimes it's not, though. I mean, we have the data. We can find out why. I will satisfy your taco curiosity. So my average was 2.2 a day. 3. I had 2 on the 19th of June. I don't know why, but I had 2 on the 19th of June. I could probably puzzle it out if I looked at my calendar then. Okay. So and go into the high yield savings. 186.65. So much interest these days, y'all. And so now we'll go to the income report. And okay, now that I've got this linked, you can actually see what I'm looking at. Okay, so bank interest was 183.90. And that's not like, there we go. I don't know why it was slightly lower than in May. Do some investigation on that, but come back around to it. And need to finish the Oh My Dollar bookkeeping side of this. So we will do that very quickly. I still get confused in YNAB where I'm like, why are I still get confused where I'm like confused about to be budgeted versus ready to assign because I've been using YNAB for so long. Now, going into the reports for June. And okay, looks like my gross was 220759 for Oh My Dollar, and that's the before the other like the charity deductions and everything I take. And then would be my 401k. And there we go. Tax gross is now carried over. So the tax gross is 155.32. So you can see that now. I carried it over from this other sheet. It's a little complicated. We don't need to dive too deep into this, but this takes like the 401k aspect of it, blah, 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 blah. But it all helps contribute to the percent of gross. And so then the SEP IRA has to be included in there. It's 551. There we go. So 48.12. So that was a lot of work to just fill in 48%. There we go. In percent of gross saved. And now cups of caffeine is 67. And I think we'll change the coffee mug to be this little teal color. And then hours skated, this is going to be low. I was not feeling skating. I did 12 hours of skating which is just not a lot. What? I don't know why it's decided it desperately wants to be Okay, so 12 hours of skating. And it suddenly shrunk that down in an annoying way. 14? There we go. And now we got to put it in the right column. It needs to be under the skate. There we go. Hours skated. Great. All right. I think we did it all. Oh, and then usually I fill in. So I rasterize. This is once again an example of like something I probably do a different way than how it should be done. But what I end up usually doing is rasterizing this screenshot. Which I've lost because it went into the wrong, there we go. It's not supposed to be there, it's supposed to be there. And I rasterize it just so that I could fill in the I remember when layers came out, still have a version on a 3.5-inch floppy disk somewhere. I mean, that sounds like something you should clear out. I know that you are endeavoring to clear things out, New Bold One, and I feel like you probably don't need to hold on to your 3.5-inch floppy disk Photoshop. I'm just going to say that. One undo, no history. Yeah, I know. It's wild because now I expect I can kind of infinitely undo things now. Erin, did you take a picture of the chopped cheese? Did you text it to me? Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to print it out. Now, edit and print. I'm going to print the picture of the chopped cheese one. Our little printer went to sleep because I got angry at it because it was being so loud. Collector's items resale value. I'm willing to bet that there is no value in a 3.5-inch floppy disk Photoshop. I'm just going to put it out there. Could it be worth a fortune on the vintage software market? Maybe. No, it is not worth that. There is no... I'm going to tell you now. And if I'm wrong, so be it. But I am fair. I have an 80% chance, 90% chance of certainty that has nothing beyond a cute and mildly interesting Twitter thread is worth of value. I use my Fitbit wristband to track sleep and also Pokemon sleep. So there's a couple reasons why I've stopped using Fitbit. One, you cannot export their sleep data. So you can't get it out into something else where I can manipulate it and do analysis on it. Like you used to be able to get out their data. Now it's only in their ecosystem. Two, they got bought by Google and I think they're kind of evil now. And three, I just kept having so many problems with Fitbits. I really miss, I used to have a Jawbone Up. I thought that was really great at sleep tracking. I now have a cheapo Amazon one called a Maze Fit. And it is pretty phenomenal. But the Jawbone Up was great because you could like manually start it and it had no screen or anything. The battery life was like weeks long. The main thing for me that is important with this is actually just a silent alarm so that it can wake me up before my loud alarm goes off when I wake up super early. It is only mildly interesting. Do you actually have a computer that boots up that can actually play it? Because it could be an interesting thread if you could, it would be more than mildly interesting if you could actually boot it up and get it to work. But I doubt that you have a computer that will take it and run it that is also working. In which case, it's just a picture of the floppy disk, and I feel like that's not very valuable. So when people have asked how I make these, this is how I make them. By brute forcing the crap out of these. Also, yes, I did spend a lot of money in June. So, but not $1,400 in wallpaper. The big one is I got my bike wheels replaced for the first time in 11 years. So, and they're great and they got hand built and they're beautiful. I got polished chrome rims and I didn't know they could be so shiny. Anyway, I was in dire need of new bike wheels. This was absolutely an essential, one, because it's my main vehicle, but two, I was getting to the point where like I was worried my brakes were actually going to drive through. Also, the brakes were like losing efficacy no matter how much I tightened them because the rims were so concave. Anyway, so happy. And I know how to build wheels, don't like it. I don't even like truing wheels, so. Now I feel challenged to find out. Okay, well, do that and then get rid of the floppy disk after you make a mildly or maybe very interesting Twitter thread. I bet you could run that Photoshop in a web browser computer emulator now. I almost guarantee it. You think about what Canva does now in a browser, and it's like 10 times more sophisticated than old Photoshop was. I have classic tech on the wall as decoration. I don't think there's enough walls in New Bold One's place. I also love the Jawbone Up. I'm glad to see someone else that has some nostalgia for it. I loved the Pebble and the Jawbone Up, and they were both great. Yeah. If you're wrong, you'll pay the resale value if it is disposed of. Here's what I'll say about the resale value. The resale value is not what people list it for online. It's what people actually buy it for online. Because if someone has it listed for $80 on eBay, but it never moves, it isn't worth it. Did you get your new keyboard, David? I'm very curious because I know you were working on that. Okay, should we work on more complicated stuff? I don't know. I'm already flagging. I'm telling you, I am in a better mood though. It's been lovely to be here with you all because really I truly have been in a very bad mood all day and I have tried to fix it. And I don't know why I'm in a bad mood. So that is like I'm like sad, but I'm not sad about anything. And I'm not like, it's not like typical depression where you're like, I'm uninterested in doing anything. I think it's more anxiety. I don't know, but I don't know where it came from. And I've had it all day. It's literally like a black cloud over my head. And I've been trying to shake it all day. I went to an hour of yoga. I skipped skating, which was also another sign that like I'm in a skating rut right now. Anyway, y'all don't need to hear this, but anyway, I just want to say I have been trying to fix my bad mood since like 6:30 this morning, and I have to say y'all have done a better job in half an hour than I have been doing with great effort today. I even like cleaned. I did some cleaning, thinking that would help. It didn't really help. But it's my birthday week, and I have 5 days off of work, so you'd think I'd be more excited. Which one? I have a new one I'm typing on now, and 2 more showed up at the same time. That is a habit. It is, It is better than a cocaine habit. When people ask how I can afford insert whatever this thing is here, I like to say no car, no kids, no coke habit. To me, I think this is funny and a little dark. But yeah, no car, no kids, no coke habit, and I can afford to do some things that maybe I couldn't otherwise. Okay, should we try to do, so what we could do is we can do one of these little versions for the year, but I am hoping to do a whole zine, but I'm starting to feel like this might not be very fun for you all to watch me do the whole report on here. Trying to open, for some reason the InDesign just like keeps not opening. That's great. Well, I did warn you that I didn't think InDesign would play very well with screen sharing, and I am correct. InDesign doesn't like anyone's attention to be divided between it and anything else. It wants only your attention. I've been running a lot of big files through it because we now have sent to printer the 3rd edition of A Cat's Guide to Money, which is one of the many things I need to promote and come up with a marketing plan for, which I don't want to do, which is probably part of the reason I'm not very excited about things. In my defense, the most expensive keyboard I bought was $49.99 for the base. I mean, that sounds very reasonably priced, but isn't the keycaps what's expensive? Because you're into the mechanical keyboards, right? I don't know. I do see very cute keycaps on the internet, and I have a brief thought that maybe I should get into keyboards, but then I remember I like super soft touch, quiet keyboards, and that probably I just don't need a cute keyboard. Also, I don't need more expensive ones. I need to get a new keyboard. Well, eventually, when this one stops working, well, you might be able to get one of several ones. Keyboard greater than cocaine. I could go for that. I mean, I miss the Pebble. It was so good when the Pebble was just unmatched. I will say the Amazfit has a similar battery life to the Pebble, and it's reasonably priced. It's not an e-ink screen. Well, it's partially e-ink, but it's not quite as e-ink. So, but I will say it's almost as good, but not quite as good as the Pebble. InDesign is like, all your swap files belong to me now, and your graphic card. That's mine too. Yes, correct. That is really what it is. Should we pull data for the past year to try to get at this? Okay, this is Oh My Dollars, not opening. Interesting. I need to pull the main budget. I think it might be time to eat a donut, though, because we've been live streaming for a while and we haven't eaten donut yet. I think Aaron might need to heat that donut up, though. But not on that plate, because that's a gold lined plate. I don't think it'll be very good without it. Okay, this is Talking Dough and Eating Donuts, where we talk about economics sometimes, and we eat a donut. So now is time to eat a donut. All right, so forgive the keyboard, the not that fancy keyboard on it. This is the stout pretzel donut. So it has a mix of like cacao and stout glaze. And then it has salty pretzels all on the top. I really like pretzels, so I'm hoping that will make up for the fact that I do not like chocolate. So we'll find out. And then this is the other one, which is the chopped cheese, which I don't know anything about, but is apparently some kind of very famous sandwich in New York City.
that has normally some kind of beef and cheese in it, and it has tomato on the top. This doesn't look like a thing I'm going to like at all, so Aaron gets it as a full donut tax, although I want to take a tiny tax out of it. All right, let's see how this does. I'm not really getting the stout flavor. I'm just overwhelmed by the chocolate. It's just a regular raised donut on the inside. Aaron might have to have this one too. New Bold One says this should be an antidote to the caffeine jitters. I stopped drinking caffeine like 8 hours ago. So I don't understand why I would have any caffeine anxiety, but maybe that's what it is.
Maybe you haven't had a stout recently enough.
Does it taste stouty to you? Aaron says maybe I haven't had a stout recently enough, which is probably true because I haven't had a stout in like 9 years. I mean, if it does taste like a stout, it tastes like a chocolate stout. Yeah. A stout is usually a darker beer. Yeah, I know. It usually has some like coffee undertones to it. I went to a craft beer with a place once and asked them to make recommendations for us. And like 4 of the 6 beers they gave us were chocolate stouts. I mean, if you like chocolate, a chocolate stout is a great example of a beer you should have at a fancy beer place. Because they're not very common at other places. Yeah, I don't drink it all, so. Back when I drank beer, though, stouts were my preference, which is part of the reason I don't drink a lot of non-alcoholic beer, because most of them are IPAs, which I never liked. Or they're just like light pilsners. I don't know. I'm hungry, so this probably tastes better. Do you want to finish it? I'm kind of curious about the person who actually likes chocolate's rating of this. I'm going to have the chopped cheese now, which is filled on the inside with like vegan hamburger meat. Nope. Absolutely not. Nope. Oh my God. Oh, now I wish I had left a bite of the chocolate stout.
It has
I don't like anything about that.
It's almost like a blue cheese flavor.
Yeah, Aaron says it's almost like a blue cheese flavor. I don't know if the mic picked that up. Here's the thing. I don't like hamburger meat. I don't like that texture. None of it. I'm anti all of that. How do you feel about it, Aaron?
It's okay.
Okay, so Aaron's rating for the chopped cheese is what?
3.
3.
3.5.
3.5 out of 5. Okay, interesting. But I will say, you ate all of that chocolate stout that I gave you immediately, and you still have half the chopped cheese one. I don't know. I think 3.5 is actually...
I appreciate it for what it is.
He says he appreciates it for what it is. Okay. I give it a 1 out of 5. I hate it. I hate it. I'm sure someone who likes chopped cheese sandwiches might like that. I don't know, never having had it before. But I hate everything about that one. Why is this not printing? It says it's printing. I'm going to give the
I think if I liked chocolate, the chocolate pretzel one would actually be like a 4 out of 5, I would say. It's like, it's got a good texture mixed. It's like fluffy on the inside, crunchy on the outside. It's got a good salty to like rich flavor. I just don't like chocolate. Neither of these were my favorite. I feel like I should have saved a donut I was really excited about flavor-wise for my birthday week, but so now I need nachos to get that out of my mouth. I still have.
The stout a 4. Solid 4.
Aaron also gives the stout a 4. Okay, we got to fill in the donut log now. Normally I pre-fill these out, but I did not have time today because I made choices. So here we go. We're gonna do the donut log. I don't understand why this isn't printing. It says it's printing. What color washi tape should we use on this? I think we'll do the little stripey one that I did last week. Yeah, I agree. Maybe I should go back and get the butter mochi again. It was really good. That might have to be next week's. Next week is 2 days after my birthday live stream, but I feel like I deserve to have it as my, it's still my birthday next Tuesday. It continues to be my birthday for most of the month of July, really, realistically. Okay. So this is stout pretzel dough. Price was $4. Sampled 07, 02, 2024. Stout. Glaze with salty pretzels. And it's raised. And it has no filling. And we gave it a 4 out of 5. How can I apply to extend my birthday beyond its current confines? You can just declare it so. If you just start saying that it's your birthday month, then you too get it extended. $3.75 dough 07, 02, 2024 annual report. And it's hamburger cheese with tomato garnish. What would you, I guess it's a potato dough, and then the filling is I think it was a TVP base. Okay, now I'm trying to figure out how to print this, but I might have to print the picture later if it won't. Let's see. Oh, the Kodak printer turned off. We shall never speak of this donut again. I mean, Aaron gave it a 3.5 out of 5, but I think my rating is a 1 out of 5. I don't know if you could pay me to eat that donut again. I knew I wasn't going to like it, so I'm kind of glad I got it on a day where I had 2 donuts. The don't nut. I hope the chopped cheese donut is supposed to taste like blue cheese. Otherwise, we're going to have a problem. I don't know why it's not printing, but do we want to do, I just tried to, my work computer is a touchscreen and I just tried to scroll on the screen and it did not work. Fun fact. Okay. Let's see if, so we can do all categories for July to July. And then usually, since my birthday is like the first week of July, I usually just delete the data from the first week and then I add the data from the first week of this July. Okay. That's untrue. I did not only spend $681. Oh, I did because I haven't, there we go. So this is total spending. The cats are very interested in the printer printing. Why are there 2 rent payments in July? Weird, and I don't remember that. I think something was wrong with the printer because that is not what that donut looked like. It looks like the yellow got screwed up. Oh, my dress is making sparkly, like, disco balls all over the apartment, and the cats are very distracted. Oh my gosh. I wish there was a way that I could capture just how many sparklies I'm making all over the apartment. Well, that's an easy way to drive the cats nuts. What? Boyfriend who dated 35 women told each one he had a different birthday, so he regularly received gifts, is arrested for fraud in Japan. That doesn't seem illegal. Maybe in Japan it is, but that just seems like you're very clever. Even the printer rejected the bomb of a donut. Yes, correct. That is what happened. I wonder if I'm the cartridge. I need a new cartridge. No, it says I still have some. Let's try one more time. That is the perfect representation of the don't nut. Fair. Michael says, I also have a Chase Freedom Unlimited, formerly CSR, as of last month. Oh yeah, I did it like 2 years ago because I got the Chase Sapphire Preferred, so I had to close my reserve. And I actually, when they raised the annual fee, I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. Yeah, I have a lot of Chase cards, which leads to issues with my auto payments because I have like 5 Chase cards because they have so many of the rewards cards and everything's on auto pay, but YNAB doesn't seem to understand which card it is auto paying Chase on, so I'm constantly having to recategorize those transactions. I just re-signed up for the Chase Reserve this month. Yeah, I'm really curious to know with the higher annual fee if it's going to be worth it to you. But Aaron switched to an Amex that has the lounge pass because Aaron travels all the time, so the lounge pass like makes sense and has a lot of value to Aaron. Except the Amex priority pass was like way crappier than the Chase Sapphire Reserve Priority Pass, where it was like not accepted at a bunch of places. Where Priority Pass would be accepted, but specifically not if you had it via the Amex card. Okay, it is printing this time it printed a lot better. That was the old one. This is the correct one. So we'll put that one in the donut log now. And we'll use this yellow washi tape. I'm gonna cut it down a little more, I think. Whoa, interesting. I complained to Amex about a bunch of places not taking the Amex Priority Pass, and the support agent had no idea what I was talking about and never heard of that before. That's so interesting because it's like, maybe it's really obvious at the Portland airport because like one of the best places to use Priority Pass doesn't accept it. So maybe it's like more obvious to us. But I've seen signs at a ton of places that say we don't take the Amex one. All right. There we go. Chopped cheese. Stout pretzel. By the way, I've just got 2 more donuts and then we get to start a new donut log. But the very brilliant suggestion to use this little regular passport cover for the passport size donut notebook, and then this other, which I haven't broken into yet, but I'm probably going to use for my bus trip, was great. It works really well. And now I got to keep my little donuts gift card in there, which is really nice. I have this very elaborate system where I use a gift card so that, because I only buy generally 1 donut a week, so that we don't have to pay credit card fees, and so that I can just get like 1 receipt for the IRS for the donuts. Anyway, I have a whole system. So I only have Chase cards, and weirdly, I run into a situation where I couldn't buy Shinkansen tickets on mobile in Japan. Yeah, I had a problem where I was like running between the machines, but I ended up using a different card. Still kind of looks undelicious, which tracks. I agree. I realized later that is the only place you find out about it, whether it's accepted is a physical sign at the door, no mention of it online. Yes, interesting. Amex Priority Pass has been less valuable than Chase's for years now. At least the forums know it really clearly. Interesting. Yep. All right. Should we do more data? We do not have a flu for the week, but this is your encouragement. Join the Personal Finance Society at ohmydollar.com/support, and email me or go to the forums and fill in floof of the week. You can go to questions@ohmydollar.com and submit me your floof of the week so that we can have one next week. Because otherwise it's just my own cats, who are very cute, but and are currently chasing the incredible amount of sparkles. This dress is making sparkles all over the apartment. Of course, none of them are behind me. They're all to the side, so you guys can't see them. But it is like a disco ball in here from this dress. And obviously my filming lights. I once had a Fidelity cash management card get shredded by an ATM in Manila before. Whoa, that's crazy. Why was that? Is it more expensive for places to offer the Amex option? When I worked in independent retail, we didn't do Amex because it was so expensive. No, so the Amex is not like accepting the Amex, so it's a little more complicated than that. The Amex card has a perk, which is this thing called Priority Pass, which is essentially gives you access to a bunch of different lounges. Amex, the credit card company, pays Priority Pass, the other company, to be able to offer this
as a perk to their card members. It has nothing to do with interchange fees because the retailers are not, they are accepting Priority Pass and getting paid by Priority Pass. They are not getting paid by Amex. What is very likely is that Amex has negotiated a crap deal with Priority Pass. And because of this, certain retailers are like excluded from the Amex Priority Pass. It's not unusual for ATMs to do that in the Philippines. Which bank ATM did that though? Theoretically, it was from getting the pin wrong too many times, but I was 100% sure it was correct. Was using that card because of free cash withdrawals internationally. Yeah, I always am scared about this because I only have one. Well, now I have two bank accounts because I have like my international account, my XE card that essentially lets me hold money in different currencies, like in one account with one debit card, and I can switch between it. Which I mainly did so that when euros are on sale, I can like buy and store some euros. And vis-a-vis US dollars, obviously, because I earn in US dollars. So now I can use that one, and that is actually like a European company, so it tends to do better with other international systems. The US is so annoying to other countries because of all of our money laundering laws and the fact that we collect taxes on our citizens, even if they're not residents here, that a lot of international banking systems are like less likely to play. And then also because of our sanctions. So I always get worried that my USAA account, which is like my primary account, will not work and then I'm like gonna have no way to get cash out. And it's fine in countries where you can do things all on credit card because I've got enough options of credit cards. But I always get worried, especially because my USAA account reimburses me for ATM fees, and it gives me the best mid-market rate, which I think most banks do now as far as exchange rate. But I have always been worried that one of these days it's just going to backfire and then I'm going to be screwed. I just avoided cash in Manila entirely. Interesting. I thought Manila was like a very cash-based economy. Yeah, it was going to be, oh, okay, so it's just in Manila you need it, but then outside there. BGC is great for card transactions. Everywhere else might not be a good idea. Is BGC the central city? Is that what it is? I heard the shredding noises. Oh my God, that seems terrible. Michael says, I just got the Venture X as my new travel sesh annual fee card. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing Venture X. Wait, what? That's the Capital One Venture X, right? I was thinking about doing the Capital One, the slightly lower annual fee card, because Venture X is like the super expensive one, I remember, if I remember correctly. Anyway. Yeah, that one's their high annual fee card. So I wanted one step down on the Capital One, and I have not had a Capital One card before, and they rejected me, which is wild, because I'd had like no applications in 24 months on any credit card thing. I have very high credit score, and so like well over 815. And I really didn't understand, but I heard that Capital One is kind of arbitrary with their rejection sometimes. And I'd not had a Capital One card before, so it wasn't even like a matter of like with Chase, sometimes you just have to call Recon and then like transfer things over. And there's no Recon line for Capital One, apparently.
So anyway, I was like, well, fine. And the main reason I was applying for it was because I was about to have a bunch of work expenses that would get reimbursed. And so I was like, oh, there we go. I can finally hit an annual spend, or a sign up bonus spend. Cause I usually do not have like a ton of expenses that I can put on a card. I was hoping with this order of books, I was going to be able to do that. However, I'm going through my distributor, and so I just have to pay them by check. So I don't get the points. Anyway, no, I have no other Capital One card. But I wasn't applying for their high-end card. They just like outright rejected me, and then they didn't even try to like lure me in with a lower card. Cuz I was surprised that they weren't like, "Well, we don't want you to have this one, but we'll let you have this other one." Hold on. Let me look it up. It was a couple months ago, and oh yeah, and they keep sending me like pre-selected ones. So I applied for a venture one, but it wasn't Venture X. But yeah, they rejected me. And then they started sending me, you've been pre-approved ones, but it keeps being for business ones, I believe. Very annoying. But I'm about to have yet another, like, I'm about to book like thousands of dollars of hotels for work. So I really should do that. You should just start including my income with your total annual income on your card applications. I think I did on this one. Because it was like it asked for total household income. And so I was like, but yeah, I have no idea why I got rejected. There was just no logical explanation for it. Update on vintage Photoshop. CD box versions, some with floppy disk, do sell on UK eBay. None of the versions are retro vintage as mine. What are they selling for? And when was the last sale? I'd call that a draw on the challenge. I need to know what it's selling for. I had my venture card get declined at point of sale in the Bahamas when trying to use local currency. Any idea why? No, that's really fascinating. No, I would probably have to know more details than that, but sometime, had you used it yet in the Bahamas? I mean, you are clearly fairly experienced with the world of credit cards, but oh, it's a financial district with a lot of international visitors. Okay, that is interesting. Not the central business district. Sometimes if you haven't used it yet in that country, then it'll get declined because they think it's fraud. And I could absolutely see that with Bahamas because that's often where a lot of financial fraud kind of goes via the Bahamas. So, yeah. It's a global business city. Lots of businesses in it. Okay. Yeah, the Venture X is the one I got, but it's the more expensive one. Yeah, I wasn't really up for another like $400 annual fee card. I mean, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, I got it with the original like 100K sign up bonus, and I milked it. I used those. I paid for a huge chunk of a 18 country 30-day trip by train, including all of the flying there, flying back first class on Korean Air from Asia. Like, I really milked that sign-up bonus. So, and I was using it pretty regularly, but then once COVID hit, I just like couldn't justify it. One of my clients books 500 hotel rooms using debit. I just found out this because he was arriving as I was checking in. We had a good talk after that. That's wild. Are they just very paranoid? Because most people don't even want to use a debit card, even if you are
Most people, if you have access to credit, don't want to use a debit card anyway because the holds that they put are enormous. And then you have trouble like getting, even if you do, if you don't aren't leaving like a huge buffer in your checking account or whatever, very dangerous. And it takes a couple days to get back on there after they undo the holds. £45 for a Mac version 3 on CD and floppy. I'm impressed. In April, I'm impressed. That is very interesting. I don't know. Sounds like a good investigation though. Aaron, I think you should start making nachos now. I'm going to wait for the delay. Aaron's wearing headphones next to me. I'm going to wait for Aaron to hear that. I deserve nachos to wash the taste of that chopped cheese donut out of my mouth. He just didn't think points were valuable, worth it. I had to break down the math for him. That's wild. I'm doing 13 days of 2 hotel rooms, so 26. And I'm like, I am gonna be able to milk that a lot. New Bold One, I'm just going to say, I think the effort and energy of listing this and trying to find a buyer is not worth the price, but I am a little impressed that they are actually moving, because sometimes I see things listed on eBay that are just like perpetually listed, and I'm like, that's because you want $70 for a thing that has no practical value, and you're just delusional. And then someone eventually is going to pay that delusional price for some of them. Good psychology. Not having nachos, but we are having sheet pan chicken fajitas. Nice. Ours are, we used to make our nachos on a sheet pan, but now we make them in these little rounds. And we make nachos often enough that we got a different size rounds to be more advantageous for making nachos in. And they're different by like an inch, but they work better for nachos, which is really a true sign of how ridiculous that is. Fuzzbubble says, I would be nervous of my debit card getting cloned using that much. I agree. I try to almost never have my debit card number out anywhere because but people also use checks, and checks are just wild. Their checks are unhinged. The American banking system. I mean, we've done a couple live streams on how far behind American ACH and checking is the rest of the world, which is like a case of our system is a lot more complicated. We have a lot more diversity of institutions, but also we adapted technology early, and now the rest of the world has lapsed us. Which is convergence theory in development economics. Anyway, we've done a live stream about this before, but I feel like it might be high time to do it again. I hear vinyl is making a comeback with the youngins. I mean, vinyl never really went away in coolness for youngins. But yeah, it is on a little bit more of a rise, but I think vinyl is always going to be valued by people that want a certain quality to their music. It is very interesting that album releases are becoming more and more a thing among these younger artists, because for a long time they were all pushing singles so hard, but now they're back to the album release cycle. Anyway, I'm not a music journalist, so I don't know that much about it, but young folks love their physical media, apparently, yes, but they do not have a computer that can take a floppy disk. Most of the Gen Zers that I work with have never seen a floppy disk. I just want you to know that. Like, they literally have only seen them on the internet, never in person. Rounds, do you mean like souffle type bowls? No. Aaron, will you just hand me the nacho pan? Because I don't know what this is called, but it's not a souffle type bowl. What is this? a cake pan. It's a cake pan. This is what we put our nachos in. Part of this is because I have, we also might need to defrost my cheese. I had that. Oh, you're so smart. Okay. So I use the vegan cheese and Aaron uses regular cheese. Even though Aaron's stomach doesn't really like regular cheese, but his mouth does. So, yeah. So anyway, we have our own little separate personal dishes for the nachos. Should I sell my 1953 LP of Johnny Puello and his harmonica gang? I mean, maybe. I was talking to a Canadian about US cards and he thought, and he was correctly criticizing it, but he didn't realize just how bad it was. He thought all credit card tap transactions required PIN here too. Yeah, I mean, no. What kind of vegan cheese? I like whatever's cheapest. So, what, I have no preference whatsoever because I just go for whatever's cheapest on sale at grocery outlet. The current stuff I have is, I think, like an unnamed brand of shredded cheese, but we got it for Breakfast on the Bridges a couple weeks ago. My dad got it for Breakfast on the Bridges, and he way over-ordered on the cheese. We actually, like, sold out. We had so much food, but it was like a pop-up on the Selwood Bridge. And we made breakfast tacos on the bridge, and way too much over-purchased of cheese. And so I now have all the vegan cheese. And Aaron lovingly packaged it all up and froze it because there was no way we were going to go through that much cheese, even with our nacho consumption, before it went bad unless we froze it. So, but yeah. Teach us how to make nachos in your first filmed video of the year. Also, can I really teach you? Because you know how I make nachos? I sit on the couch back there and I wait for nachos to appear. Actually, it's an all-day process of badgering Aaron into the idea that nachos should happen. And then the nachos are made for me. And I sit there. And I am a princess. And I wait for it. There will probably be a behind-the-scenes vlog from this bus trip. Just because there's going to be so much content that is not going to make my official work stuff. So that'll probably be one of them. New Build One says you're a keeper because you make nachos. Aaron was obsessed with nachos before we even met. Aaron had like an alert that would notify him every time someone on IRC on the Portland IRC mentioned nachos. ADHD Queen, I used to always, for my birthday month, I would go get this super fancy Vtopia cheese, which is like, they make like artisanal vegan cheeses, all sorts of amazing flavors of them. And I would get like a $14 little wedge of fancy cheese for my birthday month, and I would eat it slowly, and they would make all my tacos really exciting for like 3 weeks. But I have so much of the shredded cheese in the house right now. I'm going to delay my birthday cheese and not get it this month because I do not need to acquire any more vegan cheese in the house. Save some for Burnside Breakfast on the Bridges. We'll do tacos again. Oh, interesting. Tacos would be cool, but I will say I'm pretty sure Multnomah County is bringing us food. So let's chat offline about that. Spicy, no. Pickled jalapenos. Absolutely pickled jalapenos. And then Aaron also makes hot sauce for us. We currently have a fridge full of hot sauces, which is like mostly a pure habanero hot sauce. Our favorite hot sauce for nachos is actually a Trader Joe's habanero hot sauce, but they ran out and then we got scared. So Aaron started trying to recreate it. Hasn't quite nailed it. And one of our theories is that because Aaron like copied all the ingredients, but it doesn't quite taste the same. And our theory is their hot sauce is a product of South Africa. And we think maybe the South African habaneros are different than the I think the hot sauces are being brought over because Aaron is very proud of them and wants to show them off. This is Aaron's hot sauces with these adorable little labels of all the different hot sauces. But Aaron made all of these. He became a little obsessed. I think somewhere deep on Aaron's YouTube channel is a hot sauce tutorial. But Aaron has like vastly improved the recipe since he made that tutorial. So one of his regular viewers of his channel, which is mainly about live streaming and not at all about hot sauce, is a food technologist and has a cooking YouTube channel that is primarily in Tagalog. She's Filipino, lives in New Zealand. And we met up with her when we were in New Zealand, and she gave Aaron some very helpful hints about how the hot sauce could be improved, including like, what was it? Was it brining the peppers ahead of time?
Yeah, and using apple.
And using apple as like I think it was like a flavor stabilizer. Anyway, I really wish that we had filmed a collab with her because we came home and Aaron made the hot sauce and it was greatly improved. But now when are we next going to be in New Zealand? Our fridge is more condiments than food. At least 8 hot sauces. Oh yeah, that was just Aaron's hot sauces, not even all the other hot sauces in the fridge. If you dig up, there's this very iconic brand that now is in Taco Bell nationally, which is crazy, but it's called Secret Aardvark. It is a habanero hot sauce that's like has cult status in Portland. Maybe 10 plus years ago, there was an article in the Portland Mercury called The Cult of Secret Aardvark, I think was the title, that my now colleague Dirk wrote. But at the time we were not colleagues, and this was back when he was at a different paper. But I am heavily featured in it as like a super fan of Secret Aardvark. But it's all about the Secret Aardvark habanero sauce and everything. But the reason I used to get like 5-gallon things of Secret Aardvark, but it's quite expensive. And what started off this whole thing was that Aaron was trying to figure out how to like bring down our hot sauce costs. We do save money on hot sauce, but I do think that like I increase my hot sauce consumption because I know the marginal cost is lower. So there's like a little bit of a balancing point there. But I eat hot sauce on every meal, so. Yes, Discogs is better for selling hard copies of music. My old roommate is like one of the top contributors on Discogs. And when I decided to get rid of all of my CDs a bunch of years ago, back when I lived with my old roommate, he went through all of my CDs and he found everything that was like rare. Because I had a bunch of stuff from like working at shows and stuff like that from like kind of weird indie bands. And he sold them, and then like I gave him like a 20% cut of everything, and he sold them on Discogs. And yeah, some of them fetched like really good prices. I didn't realize this, but I had, from when I was working at a show, I had Panda Bear's original like self-titled, self-published CD. And it went for like $85 for a CD. And yeah, I had no idea. I believe I have a picture in your Captain Capsaicin costume. Well, it wasn't. It was a Secret Aardvark costume. But I made a bullet belt out of empty Secret Aardvark bottles. It is the best. Aaron's is spicier than theirs, though, and I appreciate that now. It's getting up really pricey. Secret Aardvark is local, and now it is done a collab with Taco Bell. And this is part of a story that I have been trying to pitch Taco Bell National on. The new CEO of Taco Bell is a Portlander, was at Nike and I believe Wyden and Kennedy for a long time before he moved to Taco Bell. And since he moved to Taco Bell, they have been doing collabs with all these iconic Portland like brands, like Salt and Straw. Secret Aardvark is nationally
on Taco Bell now. Wild Fang, the lesbian clothing brand, lesbian / tomboy clothing brand, did a Taco Bell collab. I mean, there's just like been some incredible Portland brand mixing with Taco Bell. And I keep being like, please let me interview the new CEO. I feel like this would be so interesting to our listeners, but I have not gotten the Taco Bell press people to agree to it yet. That is the craziest justification for using more hot sauce, and I love it. Well, hot sauce is expensive if you go through it as fast as we do, so important. You could do so much with simple ingredients and a good hot sauce. I mean, I also can be extremely lazy and make a mediocre meal and then make it taste good. I was at a forensics conference last week, and a coroner said for burned remains to view implant serial numbers, the best way to clean them is Taco Bell sauce? Wait, I'm so confused. Like, they put medical implants, like metal implants, into Taco Bell sauce? Send the CEO the picture of you in the costume. Interesting. This is a way to pitch them. I don't understand why their press people won't respond to me. It seems like such an easy press win for them, but yeah, maybe I need to escalate with I'm used to being pursued by press people from corporate accounts, not the other way around. And I'm kind of confused because it's not like this is going to be like a hard hitting interview. This is like, I want to talk about this little like fluff story. Yeah. Aaron says, my hot sauce is $1 per bottle compared to like $7 to $8 per bottle at the store. Although I do think my hard-hitting question for him will be, why do we not have the vegan crunch wraps yet in the Portland Taco Bells? So they had vegan crunch wrap Supremes with like vegan cheese as an option in like a couple test markets, one of which was Miami, Florida, one of which was LA, which makes sense. And Portland is sometimes a test market, and it especially makes sense as a test market for vegan food. Anyway, it was like a huge hit in the test markets, the vegan Crunchwrap Supreme, but it was like over a year plus ago. And it hasn't come to the Portland ones yet. And I don't understand this. Like, if you were Taco Bell, why would you not want to offer this in like one of the vegan capitals of the world? I guess it's because we have plenty of good local Mexican places that make good local vegan, better than Crunchwrap Supreme foods. But it's just such a bummer because I feel like there could be great results if they would do that. How many bottles a month do you both consume? I'm not entirely sure because we switch between different types. And they all have like different amount of ounces. That's actually a really interesting question. I feel like we go through 2.5 bottles of hot sauce a month. Does that sound right, Aaron?
I think it's closer to 3 or 3.5.
Aaron thinks it's closer to 3 or 3.5. I have to be fair, his new hot sauce bottles are smaller than the old ones, so... To identify the body, they wanted the serial numbers. They put the sauce on the implants and let it corrode the buildup. That's wild. That does make me a little scared. Coca-Cola is used as an industrial cleaner for a lot of things. I knew a lot of people that would use it on their grease buses to clean them out. All right, y'all, we've been streaming for quite a while, almost 2 hours. I feel like this is a lot. Please send me your floofs at questions@ohmydollar.com. Jump in on the forums with your floofs if you want. join the Personal Finance Society, which you can do for $0, although it does support, you get stickers above $2 a month, and it supports our workshops that I do with low income and foster youth for financial services, which are about to ramp up again in the fall. It helps me get them free books and everything. So anyway, you can join the Personal Finance Society. It also pays for hosting for the forums, which is pricey. Down below. But even if you join for $0, you will get notifications about the live streams, since I have to say YouTube is not that reliable. And before we go, I should also mention that the Personal Finance Society gets copies of my annual report sent to them as long as they have receiving physical mail turned on, which is a problem. And then please, if you are already a member, and for example, maybe you didn't get stickers in like 3 months ago, check to make sure that you have physical rewards turned on and that you have the right address, because I always get at least half a dozen returned things every time I send mailers out. My annual report zine that I will finish, since you only watched a tiny bit of it today, will be coming out probably around it'll come out a little after my birthday, but it'll get mailed in like a week and a half, because I'm trying to mail it before USPS prices go up, because all the postage rates are going up on July 14th. So anyway, I will be mailing them soon. We've gone through 5 bottles since I made the first batch on June 17th. Well, but we had to test them. That's bad. That's bad. That's like 2 weeks. 7 bottles? Oh my God. ADHD Queen says, happy birthday week. Pet a cat or buy a keyboard? I feel like you should do both. It has been lovely to have you all here. Thank you for raising my mood, which was so not great today. So I appreciate having you all here. And before we go, tell me what you're looking forward to this week. I guess I'm looking forward. I hope that this week gets better. I weirdly cranky today, and I would like to not carry that energy into tomorrow. I think maybe instead of having 2.5 cups of coffee, maybe I'll have less tomorrow. I didn't even have like the energy drink that I have saved in the fridge as like a treat drink. And I feel like I would have blamed the energy drink if I had had it for the weird existential crisis feeling. Oh, Eric says, I know I feel better. Thank you, one and all. Aw, thanks, guys. I'm allergic to cats, so keyboard it is, and I'm glad you're in a better mood. It was lovely to have you all here, even virtually. So yeah, I guess I'm looking forward to being in a better mood and hopefully finishing my annual report. Media Rex gets the news kitties in Arizona on Sunday. Amazing. Media Rex, I don't think you were here when we shared your kittens as Flu for the Week, but they were very popular. And I think that you need to send updated pictures, and I'm happy to repeat them again. B says, I look forward to an extra day off. Yes, that's exciting. Are you getting the actual proper 4th off? ADHD Queen says, I'm looking forward to the end of fireworks. My poor dog has been hiding in the bathtub. Have they already started for you? They haven't really started over here. I don't know how the kittens are going to handle it because this is their first 4th. So I'm not looking forward to it's supposed to be like 99 degrees on my birthday, which is like 36. Hold on. Let me see. Not in freedom units. 37. It's supposed to be 37 degrees on my birthday in Celsius, so 99 Fahrenheit. I am not looking forward to that. It was very pleasant and nice out today, and I kept trying to tell myself, enjoy how nice it is outside. I did go for a long walk, and I was trying to make myself appreciate how nice it was because it's going to get worse. to turn around my bad mood, but that was just making me cranky about the fact that it's going to be worse later this week. Woo, getting the 4th off. I think the pool that had his pool house exploded might be partially open by mid-July. Oh my God. Did it get exploded from fireworks? I'm in the suburbs. My idiot neighbors set them off each night for 30 minutes. That sounds expensive. That's just a lot of them. We had to remind my employer we're off on a Thursday when they tried to schedule a town hall meeting for U.S. employees. I feel like your employer really doesn't understand the concept of holidays. I feel like if you're an international company, the people that are in charge of scheduling things should be better at looking at calendars. I don't know. It's not my job. So it just seems like it could be easier. B says stay inside on your birthday. Well, I am working on my birthday, but I will be commuting like before sunrise. So at least it won't be hot during my commute. And then I probably am going to commute back home at like 10:30 a.m. or 11 a.m. instead of staying in the office until like the hottest part of the day. So yeah, we were supposed to have a little birthday picnic for me on the 4th. My actual birthday is on the 7th, but we were going to have one on the 4th. But looking at the weather, we were all like, I think we should make other plans because we don't have anywhere right now with AC where we can host anyone. I really had hoped that the roof would be like possible, but the roof itself won't even be pleasant in 99 degrees because we don't like the misters aren't up and stuff right now. And we don't have any AC in the main house. And then this house is it's too small to host anyone really. I mean, if we were really determined, we could, but it's not set up for that. So we don't even have like a table, for example. Maybe you go to the coast and take your birthday off. I can't take my birthday off. I'm an on-air staff, so I don't have the option to take off. Because I'm in a coverage-based role. So I am working the weekend, but I'm taking a 5-day my weekend, which is Monday through Friday this week for my birthday. But I have to work Saturday and Sunday. So also getting to the coast is kind of a pain in the butt without a car. Like it is possible. I can take the Tillamook Wave. I can go up to Astoria that way. But they don't run on national holidays. So anyway, it's fine. I'm not that worried. My employer doesn't understand the concept that people aren't Irish. Are the Irish like Northern Europeans where they like get an entire month off in July or August? Or are the Irish a little more British in that way where they don't take like an entire month off? Because the Finns are all just like all off for all of July. You cannot get a hold of a Finnish person in an office right now. They're all like in the woods. All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoys their days off and stays dry and cool and enjoys their keyboards and their kittens and mostly keyboards, kittens, and days off. That's what everybody has going on. Stay safe, stay hydrated, pet a cat if you have one available, or a keyboard if you have one available. And I will see you all soon. Bye.